Who was this mysterious kitty? Who hid in the shadows to help his favorite human? Who was this hero that we call Puss in Boots? How old is his story? Well, we will explore this amazing old legend in today's video. Hello and welcome back to Neffy Cat. We're so glad that you can join us today. We rewind the clock back to the year 1550. Here we find the oldest written version of this famous story. Italian author Giovanni Francesco Straparola included the story Puss in Boots in his famous book that was called The Facetious Nights of Straparola. In 1634, another version of this tale was published by Glambastia Bastille. In the end of the 1600s, we see Puss in Boots first being shared in another language, and this time it was French, by Charles Perrault, and this is where a lot of you may know. Even though it was originally written in a manuscript prior, Charles Perrault wrote his story in the Histories ou Contes du Temps Passé. This book was published in 1697, and it became an instant success. It's still popular to this very day, and you can find it in different languages even still. This is when it became known all over the world. Well, these grew into what those of us in America know as the Mother Goose Tales. In fact, if you're interested in a copy of Mother Goose Tales, I will be including a link to that in the description down below so that you can order it through an Amazon affiliate link. Well, Puss in Boots has been a major influencer in modern culture, even through the centuries. It has been an inspiration for composers, for artists, and choreographers all over the world through the centuries. One of my favorite composers was Tchaikovsky. Well, he had a ballet called The Sleeping Beauty that has Puss in Boots appear in the third act. And those of you who love Shrek, in his movie called Shrek, Puss in Boots appears there too. For those of you who may not know this story, I think it's worth sharing the overall story in this video. Because in the original story, the youngest son of a miller, he was given his inheritance. And at first he was very, very upset by this when his father had passed away because his father gave him a cat. The first son got a mill, the second son got the mule and the cart, and he only had the cat. But it turns out that this is no ordinary cat. He is special. He realizes this when his kitty requests and receives a pair of boots. This hero cat decides to help his favorite human out, and he ninja sneaks out. He hunts a rabbit and presents this to the king as a gift from his favorite human. He ends up doing this over several months, and thus winning great favor with the king. Well, the King Marquis of Carabas takes a drive one day with his daughter in their carriage. Well, Puss in Boots realized that this was happening, and so he convinced his master to go bathe in the river, take his clothes off, and the kitty was a ninja and hid the clothes. Then, when the king passes by in his coach, the kitty loudly meows and screams and hisses, and the king becomes very worried that something is going on. So the cat comes and tells the king that his master was just robbed of his clothes. The king, being a very good person, has a heart for this young man, and he had him rescued. He gave him a nice suit of clothes, and he put him into his carriage where his daughter was sitting. Well, the daughter falls in love immediately. Yes. And so, and somebody is having such cute little wings. Such cute little wings. The cat hurries ahead and tells the townspeople that they belong to the Marquis of Carabas. Now the kitty comes across a castle, and that castle happens to be inhabited by a shape-shifting ogre. The ogre ends up shape-shifting into a lion. But our very clever hero convinces the ogre that he should show him that he can turn into a mouse. And so the ogre does, and our hero eats the mouse. So now that castle is empty. The king arrives at the now empty castle, and he is so impressed by his young friend that he's convinced that he's nobility. And he gives the estate and the land to that master. Puss in Boots and that young man get to live there happily ever after. The young man even gets the head of the princess that the king very happily gives him. Well, Puss in Boots never, ever has to starve and have to hunt for mice again. He's just allowed to play with them. Just like somebody that I know here who gets to play with all of his cloth mice. Well, Neffy's won my heart, and so has Puss in Boots, which I wasn't quite expecting to be such a wonderful story. And it is a delight to be able to share this with all of you. Thank you all so very much for watching our video today. If you like the contents of our videos, don't forget to take those paws and paw that like button. You can paw the subscription button, and you can paw the notification bell. Paw all when you paw that notification bell, and you'll be notified so that you can see all of Neffy Cat's videos. And don't forget to check out the link in the description, and also don't forget to check out Neffy's new store where you can get t-shirts and all sorts of other cool Neffy items too. Well, thank you all so very much, and we look forward